Elizabeth moved to the United Kingdom in 2023 in search of a better life. Before she moved to the UK, she was an experienced teacher in Nigeria. She's never had any issues according to the information that was shared in court. No one has ever complained about her conduct. In fact, she's an experienced worker who is highly respected. One mistake has now ended this lady's career. She has got a criminal record. She will be sentenced in the next coming days, and she will have to return to Nigeria because this is a serious offense that would affect her ability to work. If you know anyone that who lives in the United Kingdom who works in the care sector, please kindly ensure that they see this video. Even though they live outside the UK, they live anywhere in the Western world, there are valuable lessons that can be learned from the story of Elizabeth. Elizabeth was working she was working for an agency. She has been working for this agency as as an assistant. For many years, she hasn't got any complaint. One fateful day, Elizabeth was washing dishes when a 16 years old baby approached her. The baby was described as a happy, good-looking baby, bubbling baby. She approached this Elizabeth. This was in March last year, and Elizabeth, because she was wearing apron, because she was washing dishes, she was still wearing apron, which was probably soaked with water. Elizabeth did not want to let the water touch this child. Elizabeth, as we speak today, she continues to maintain that she is innocent of what she has been found guilty in court 2 days ago. She continues to say, I am innocent. This is a clear case of misunderstanding. However, the 16-month-old baby's mom said what Elizabeth did to her child traumatized her. Now, when we share this story, let me know what you think about this incident. So as Elizabeth saw this baby rushed to Elizabeth. Elizabeth said she did not want to touch this baby because she was soaked in wet apron. She did not want to touch this baby. Because of that, she carried this baby on his left arm. That is what Elizabeth did. She said, I carried this baby on the left arm. This all happened on the 16th of April last year, when Elizabeth, it was described that she grabbed this baby. That is what she said. But Elizabeth said, I only carried this baby with my left hand. When Elizabeth carried this baby, the baby immediately, because according to staff, where Elizabeth was working, the baby needed comfort. Elizabeth then carried this baby with the left arm and she lifted the baby up. As soon as she did that, this baby started crying. The baby was crying loud. And Elizabeth was shocked that this baby was crying and she did not know what to do. Somebody saw Elizabeth and reported Elizabeth that, look, your staff is manhandling this child the way she is carrying this baby. This case is not ended. The nursery called the baby's mom. They took this baby to A&E for further medical examination to see if any harm has been done to this baby. A&E check shows that this baby did not sustain any bruises, no bruises at all. However, the case went to court. The Crime Prosecution Services played the video in court, and Elizabeth was seen standing at the sink and the child is behind her to the left. The baby in the video does not appear to be in any distress in the footage. Elizabeth then grabbed the baby then grabbed Elizabeth by her trouser, according to what was showed in court. Grabbed Elizabeth and by the feet, and then the baby climbed the wood before Elizabeth grabbed this baby and lifted this baby up. Elizabeth then admitted in court that, look, the way I carried this baby, it was inappropriate. I should not have carried this baby that way, but I did not mean to cause any harm. I grabbed this baby by both arm and lift this baby up. I did not mean to carry this baby to cause this baby any harm. She said, my intention, because I was wearing an apron that was soaked with clothes, I was mindful that I did not want to cause any harm, and I have apron which is soaked. I was just being careful. That is Elizabeth's defense. I was just being careful, trying to do everything humanly possible not to cause this baby harm. And as you can see, this baby, from what you can see, this baby, I did not mean to cause any harm. However, Elizabeth herself, she has a 17-month-old baby at the time of this incident, and this baby in question was 16 months. However, the prosecution said Elizabeth was seen lifting this baby like a bag of rubbish from the nighttime collection. She carried this baby across the room, knowing it was inappropriate to lift this boy. Elizabeth said, look, yes, I know it is inappropriate for me to lift this baby, but I was covered with apron because I was washing dishes. I accepted that the way I carried this baby is inappropriate, but the agency has been sending me to different places to work, and nobody has ever raised any complaint or concern about my conduct. So this is clearly a case of me not wanting to harm this baby, because not wanting to stain this baby because of course I was covered on apron. I was doing everything possible to make sure that I do not cause any harm. I had to carry this baby from the arm like this. That is all that happened. But however, the judge then looked at the whole cases and said, Elizabeth's lawyer said, Elizabeth has worked in 2 nurseries employed by the same agency before this incident, and she has worked with children in Nigeria. No complaint about her conduct, that she's a very high experienced care assistant. She now recognizes that her conduct was wrong, but she did not mean to cause any harm. The sister, 3 days ago, she was found guilty. She is due to be sentenced in the coming week. She may go to prison, and her visa will have to be revoked. This is somebody who is, once you have criminal record, you will not be able to get a job in the care sector again. And this Elizabeth herself, she has a young baby. Now, the question that I'm asking is, based on the way I described it, here was somebody who was in the kitchen washing dishes, and the baby approached her, and she was trying not to cover the baby with the dirt from the apron. According to her, she then carried this baby, and now the baby, somebody called the baby's mom and said, oh, your baby is crying because Elizabeth carried her. You need to go and check the baby. The doctor showed that check showed in the hospital the baby did not suffer any harm, but unfortunately, this lady has now been found guilty. What are the lessons that you can learn here? The way you carry your children at home, you cannot carry other people's children like that. When you're working in a professional environment, you have to be 110% careful, because there are a lot of people waiting for you to fall so that they can laugh you. That is the world that we are living in. You have to be extremely careful. The picture you're seeing here, that is the picture of Elizabeth Adiegbo, who was found guilty on the 27th, and she only moved to the UK on the 2023, just less than 3 years ago. Now everything that she has worked for because of one mistake is gone. If you know anyone that works in the care sector, kindly ensure that they see this video. We share stories like this to inform and educate our community. Knowledge, they say, is power. One of the best ways to learn in life is to learn from other people's experiences, whether success or failure. You can support what we're trying to do by giving this video a like, share, so that people can learn, and follow us on all our social media platforms. Let me know whether you think that the outcome that it justifies Elizabeth's action. That is what has happened to our sister today.